First of all, let me congratulate Jerome for having this idea. And we've been speaking about doing this kind of a webinar program for the last few years. And finally, it has come to fruition that we've been able to organize all the speakers. We've been able to organize the web people who have brought their expertise here today. And that's why this kind of program is possible today. And I think these kind of programs will become more and more popular as diseases like swine flu increase and communicable diseases and global warming, etc. The people will just sit at home and watch lectures on the web and not have to travel all the way to attend a meeting to gain information. So basically what I'm going to speak about today is the study of the Alcon Restore Plus 3 lens, which is basically what I use for presbyopia treatment, and the iDiff diffractive IOL, which is one of the new entrants in the field which we have in India. Diffraction is basically bending of light. So imagine a wave of water striking a break in a dike. As it passes through the dike, it spreads out on the other side, and this is diffraction. So light acts in the same way when it passes over a groove or a step in the lens, and I'm starting with a few basic points. We all know about Thomas Young's diffraction experiment. We studied this when we were in school. And just like the wave of water, if this plane wavefront of light strikes a barrier with apertures, it breaks into waves, and there's constructive and destructive interference, because of which we're going to have dark and light bands on the screen. In a similar illustration, light enters from one side, and you can see the constructive and destructive interference leading to light and dark bands. Now, if you think about a monofocal lens, parallel rays are combined into a single focus. If we study diffraction through a plane lens, we see that the diffraction is caused by a microstructured effect. So if you can have this kind of microstructure on the lens, you can, without having a refractive surface, you can diffract light to bend to a point. So you can also have a diffractive bifocal lens. So basically a bifocal lens which has steps of the same height is going to generate a bifocality and not a multifocality. So in a diffractive bifocal lens, since beam splitting is by energy division, the brightness distribution is independent of pupil size. And that's the whole attraction of a diffractive lens, especially in a place like India, where people develop cataract at 45 and 50 due to UV light exposure and due to excess sunlight exposure. And many a time in the villages, you have people with mature cataracts, absolutely mature, with counting fingers at 45 and 50. And it's because of the sunlight exposure. They have pupils of 2 and 3 millimeters. You're never going to find ethnic Indians with 8 and 9 millimeter pupils at night. It just won't happen. And that's another reason why LASIK is so successful, because nobody has glare and halos since the pupil never opens anyway. So basically with a bifocal IOL, we can see that you can have a first order near focus and a zero order far focus. And this is an interferometric measurement of the surface profile of the iDiff lens. And nowadays with technology, you can actually measure and see how small these steps are. And that's the technical challenge in making lenses like this. And this is the lens that I'm using presently for presbyopia, because it's pretty cost effective and tailored to the Indian eye. It provides a full range of vision and decreases dependency on glasses. And that's what we aim to achieve, especially after cataract surgery nowadays, when people are more demanding and cataract surgery is slowly transitioning into pure refractive surgery. So this is what the presbyopic IOL looks like, and it's a refractive diffractive technology. It addresses cataract patients with or without presbyopia. I have put this lens in people who are +6, +7, +8, and they are really happy with it. Basically, it has some features which separate it from regular full optic diffractive lenses. The companies managed to smooth transition zones. So it's not a sharp step. The step is actually been blunted. And they claim that this is their proprietary technology, and they've applied for a US patent. Typically, a full zone diffractive optic IOL has certain advantages. It provides multifocal vision, it reduces pupil dependency and balanced distribution of light energy for all pupils. However, all full optic diffractive IOLs will cause some amount of glare and halo generation. If you look at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you'll see that the company has managed to blunt the steps with their new technology. And this is supposed to give a lot less glare and halos, and in practice it does work. I don't really have patients complaining about glare and halos. That's also because I do a very stringent pre-operative workup. And people who drive for a living, surgeons and lawyers are all avoided from being prescribed any kind of multifocal lens implant. So the iDiff IOL reduces halos by their distribution of light, and it smooths the steps over so that you again don't get scattering of light. Coming to aspheric optics, we know that spherical aberration increases after a standard IOL implantation. So nowadays all the multifocal lenses have become aspheric to eliminate spherical aberration. We know that an aspheric platform is better for multifocal IOLs because the modulation transfer function is much better through an aspheric lens. And you can see a company simulation. On the right side is the spheric lens, on the left side is aspheric. So patient sees the same thing, but he sees it a little more in sharp focus with an aspheric lens. Like all lenses today, this one too has a 360-degree square edge and a 3.5 diopter addition for near vision. They've gone in between 4 and 3. Coming to the Alcon Restore lens. When Restore launched Alcon launched its multifocal lens, the Restore, a few years ago, everybody ran out and started implanting them. And what was obvious is that people still did get glare and halos, and that you had to hold your reading material a little too close for comfort to the eye. Elderly folks would like to hold the reading matter a little further away, would like to keep the newspaper on the table and read in the morning. So having a 10 or 11 inch reading distance was not exactly optimal. And recognizing these features, Alcon has taken out their new model, which is a 3 ad lens, and introduced it in India a few months ago. So what we are going to basically discuss is that whether the near vision of this lens has been compromised by having less ad power on the lens, and does it impact distance and intermediate. And this study was a multi-center study done by Alcon. Well, let's have a look at the apodized diffractive technology of an Alcon lens. And this is a standard +4 diopter lens that I'm showing you in the picture. There's a central 3.6 millimeter apodized diffractive structure, and here the step height decreases peripherally. This is what it looks like. We've all seen these lenses before, and basically it's a reduction or blending of the diffractive step heights towards the periphery, and that's what apodization is called. The idea is to produce a second order image which is far less intense. The idea is that you don't get enough glare, you don't get much glare and halos if you go this way. And it's quite a technological feat, and that's why these kind of lenses are not produced earlier, because you have to produce a very, very small step height, which is much, much smaller than the thickness of a red blood cell. So the design objectives for this lens was to induce negative spherical aberration. And looking at the modulation transfer function, we find that as the MTF describes the loss in contrast in the image of a sinusoidal pattern. So if you have a sinusoidal pattern or pattern of grating that increases, at a point the person will not be able to recognize the grating. This is the light spreading in circular apertures, and we know that with a smaller pupil we don't get as much spreading of light. Again, the Alcon Restore gives the best focus in these pictures as compared to a refractive multifocal on the right and a full optic diffractive multifocal like the Tecnis lens. So that's their theory as to why the Restore gives you better vision. Again, at night it gives you better vision, and this has been borne out by real world studies where patients are pretty comfortable with this lens at night. It's now, we have a +3 ad power, and basically we have 9 diffractive rings versus the old model which had 12 rings. And this is what it looks like. This is the old one which had 12 zones and a central zone diameter of 0.74, and this one has got a slightly larger central diameter and 9 zones. Basically, when we compared the two, if you have a look at Alcon's records on file, they find that the mean distance uncorrected visual acuity is basically the same, and the mean near visual acuity at the best distance is again basically the same. Both the visual acuities are less than 2 letters apart, so it doesn't really, having less ad power doesn't make the lens worse for reading. the mean distance of the best near visual acuity actually increases. So this is the whole idea of having this new lens, is that there's 2.6 inch increase in distance compared to the aspheric +4 diopter lens. So the person can hold things a little further away and still be able to read small print. The mean uncorrected intermediate visual acuity is far, far better actually. The visual acuity is 1 to 1.5 lines better for the restored aspheric lens. So with this kind of lens, they have tried to improve their intermediate vision. And that's why the lens is such a success. And I don't think anybody is really using the +4 anymore. Once the +3 came out and we implanted it in a number of patients, you'll find that they are a lot happier for near and a lot happier for intermediate. And that's where we really live, is between near and intermediate. The combined visual acuity distance, intermediate and near, you can see the results. The aspheric +4 doesn't really match up to the +3 lens. And if you have a look at the bilateral defocus curve and you see the old +4 lens, there was really not very much intermediate vision at all. But now with the +3 add lens, the intermediate vision is far better. That's the black curve. The visual disturbances are again a lot less because they have reduced the number of rings. And frequency of spectacle wear for distance vision, the question is how often do you wear glasses? And most of the patients, you can see more than 95% say never. And that's what has been borne out by us. In real world studies, you ask the patient, would you like to wear this +1.5 reading addition and read? And most of them say, no, I just don't require it anymore, but I do need a little bit of strong light. The frequency of spectacle wear overall is how often do you wear glasses? And again, you can see that it's about between 70 and 80%, with 1 or 2 people saying always. 96% of the +3 add patients would have the same implant again. So in conclusion, we can offer refractive cataract surgery to our patients today at different price points. The lenses manufactured in India are coming very highly up to international standard today, and you can get nearly the same performance with a much, much cheaper lens. And new technology ensures good near vision, minimal glare and halos, and even decent intermediate vision, which earlier was not possible with diffractive lenses. And see you all at Presbymania 2010. Thank you.